Hello there, Joe. How you doing, mate? How are those food videos going, by the way?
It's going all right, actually, Gary. I've been doing lots of British food. I've been really
good.
trying to think about what's uniquely British, what people want to see. So, done a lot of full English breakfasts.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Weatherspoons do good full English breakfast.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot of afternoon tea.
Oh, very classy.
I've been like Harrods, the Ritz.
Oh, very
all the top
classy.
end. Even went to a pub recently that does afternoon tea.
Excellent.
Fish and chips, obviously. Fish and chips is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what everybody thinks about for British. But I've sort of, because I live in London, I've really been thinking about, is there anything that's uniquely London? You know, any food that was, just really about London? Can you think of anything?
Well, so when I was growing up in Fulham, right, for us, every Saturday as little kids was Saturday morning pictures and off for pie and mash.
Ah, pie and mash.
Pie and mash, very London. Lots of the big names like it. David Beckham can't get enough of it. Rob Beckett, all sorts. They go for pie and mash. It's proper traditional London food.
That sounds really good. Do you know where there are any?
Well, there's one right here, actually.
Oh, well, that's handy, isn't it? Right, let's go in here.
Let's go in.
So here we are inside Manzies, which is amazing. It's really traditional. I mean, we've got the tile on the wall here. These benches are the original layout from 1902, I believe this place opened, Gary.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The family bought the business from the Cook's family, I think in 1892. And yeah, this is, I think, the oldest pie mash shop still in existence in London.
Did you know that Mr. Manze was Italian?
Was he really?
Yeah, he was an Italian immigrant.
How about that?
Yeah, so he came to
Traditional
London.
London food.
Came to London, but rather than cooking pasta and pizza, which he may well have been interested in, because this was the food that people wanted to eat in London, this is what he moved into. Became the go-to place for pie and mash.
Excellent.
So, pie and mash seems a funny combination, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons that they did it was because it's cheap. It's basically the Victorian equivalent of fast food. That you could come in, you get it quick. I mean, we've just walked in here and literally within, a minute and a half, we've got this food on the plate. I mean, it's not gourmet food, you can see the presentation, but it's actually, it looks great, it looks tasty. What have we got here, Gary? You've grown up on this stuff, haven't you?
I have. This is like a bit of a cultural heritage journey for me today. Here you have what most grown-ups would have, double pie, double mash. So 2 meat pies, mashed potato. The pies are like a suet base to keep all the juices in, and then a puff pastry top, beef mince inside, cook them. The liquor, this green sauce, is like a parsley-based sauce. In the old days, it would have been made from the cooking liquor of the the eels. You have jellied eels and stewed eels. Nowadays, most places use like a vegetable stock and then thicken it up. But loads of parsley, some pepper, and mashed potato. And the mash shouldn't be too hard mashed. It shouldn't be like pom puree or anything. If there's a little tiny lump here or there, that's more authentic.
I can roll with the punches on that one. Now,
and the presentation as well of the
spooned on
straight onto the side. There are places that use those little clippy things that drop them down into balls of potato. Nice. Nah, on the side of the plate.
Now, in terms of the menu itself, the choice was pie and mash, or double pie and mash. That was it, basically. And if you're a vegetarian, then don't come here, because it's basically one option, mince pie.
Absolutely.
That's it. No veggie option, no meat and potato, none of that. It's just this. So this is it. So let's dive in and grab some, because obviously it's going cold now. As you'll see, don't have a fork. I don't have a knife. It's a fork and a spoon, which I think is another tradition.
Absolutely, absolutely. You use your spoon to cut, to take it and to eat it, and the fork to hold things in place, generally speaking.
Now, what have we got here then? There's the condiments.
Vinegar. Very, very traditional. Vinegar. Actually, in most places, it's what they call non-brewed condiments. So it's not like grape-derived vinegar. It's a bit more industrial than that.
Right,
but
it looks quite industrial.
very
from that
cheap.
bottle.
And then the other option is they put a load of chilies into it, chili vinegar as well.
That's more my bag.
That was my dad's favourite thing on the planet. That was my
Now,
dad
I've
used to love
been
that.
doing a bit of research on this, and I was told, I've read that the reason why they put vinegar on, two reasons. Firstly, it gives a bit more flavour, because we've got quite relatively bland food from obviously the Victorian days. There wasn't a huge amount of taste, so you put this on just to spice it up a bit. But also, because the hygiene wasn't that great back in the old Victorian days, this was a way of basically trying to kill some bacteria and also masking if any of the food was off, and it wasn't that good. Well, you're going to eat it anyway, so you could just mask the taste by loading a load of chilli on. So I'm going to go with the chilli, whack that on, give it a bit of flavour.
This is very much the food of the people, as they would say. East End of London, quite poor communities, mainly because all the pollution from London tended to drift to the east. And that's where most poor people live. And of course, minced beef back in the old days, it was minced beefs of all the little cuts. When you'd finish butchering off the main stuff, it'd be all the rest of it, you'd mince it up and use it. But now, they use proper beef mince.
You could hide a lot of things in mince, right?
Oh,
Let's
yes,
get
you
into
can.
this pie. Okay. So, it looks pretty full, this pie. There's not a lot of filling, and it is, you see here, it's proper mince that we've got in there. And we have a bit of this, bit of everything. Why not? Well, my first impression, the vinegar, I mean, I did put a lot of vinegar on, but it is quite a strong flavour. Pie, good quality, not, no filler in there, it's just all mince. This parsley sauce, well, it's called liquor. So when you see initially that it's pie and liquor, you think it's going to be alcohol, but as I said, this is like a parsley sauce, isn't it, made from previously when they used to stew these eels. Now, we'll come on to the eels in a minute, that's the scary part of this meal. Yeah, parsley sauce, it's sort of like a very mild tasting gravy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you need the combination. I wouldn't eat the parsley sauce on its own. Let's see what the mash is like on its own. Oh, I like that mash. As you said, it's really solid, isn't it? It's like, sometimes you go to places and they put way too much butter and cream and milk, and it's almost like a drink. This is really solid potato.
You can properly taste potato in this, not, as you say, cream or butter or whatever.
That's nice. Got a little bit of salt in there as well, so it's got. Actually, that potato's really nice. That's one of the nicest mashed potatoes I've had for ages. Okay, get back into this pie. How are you finding yours? One of your pies seems to have disappeared already.
Very nearly. I'm really restraining myself for the valued viewers here, I have to say.
It would have all gone usually.
Totally.
Yeah, that mince is really good quality, actually. I'm not usually a fan of minced pies, but as you said, it's really high quality food taste to it. So it does taste like a sort of gourmet pie, even though the presentation isn't gourmet. I'd say the taste is pretty much there.
Presentation's just authentic. This is how it's always been done.
It's really tasty, actually. And I can see why the Victorians had it, because it's got that sort of really filling factor to it that you just, as you're eating it, you can sort of feel yourself sort of gaining energy.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Over the years, of course, I've been feeling myself gaining a little bit too much weight around the tummy, but, this is a bit more of a luxury now rather than a weekly thing.
Right. Whilst I've still got the appetite for it, let's have a look at these eels now. I believe that back in the Victorian day, because London was so polluted, the Thames was very polluted. They were struggling to have any fish in there, and eels thrived in that environment. So there were millions of eels, and so lots of Londoners were eating eels. And these are two traditional ways of eating them. And apparently, a lot of these pie shops started off life as eel shops,
Absolutely.
so serving eel, and then they expanded into pie and mash and liquor. Now this looks quite scary, and so an eel, obviously, it looks like a snake, but it isn't a snake. It's a fish.
It's a fish.
Now this has been boiled, have they? Two different types of presentation. What's the difference here then?
Yeah, this is your stewed eels, sort of cooked in water, which served with liquor. This is what you have here, hot. The jellied eels are then preserved in like an aspic-like jelly, and this is a bit more like the takeaway, eat on the move street food sort of thing. So you would find, back in the old days, you'd find, like you find now, street pop-up little carts You'd be walking along the street, you fancy a bit peckish, there'd be a jellied eel stand. You go over, get a pot of jellied eels, and off you go, happy eating them.
It was like the Victorian equivalent of chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
Or tapas,
yeah,
or something like
some-
that.
absolutely.
Doesn't quite look as appealing as either of those to me, but... So we're going to try this hot one first.
Try the hot one first. Yeah.
So this is first for me. Obviously, Gary's an old hand at this, so you can go first. I'll follow your lead.
So the thing to remember about eels is they are a little bit bony.
Okay.
So you can just take the meat away from the bones like that, and then in it goes. But do be aware
So you're
there
eating
could
the
be
skin.
Oh, it's nice. Actually, that's really nice. A little bit of mash with that as well.
Well, that's how a pro does it. Now, hopefully, I managed to keep this down, but let's just see. So, we'll follow your lead. So this is
That's a good piece because it's like a fillet type cut. That's nice.
Yeah. If I think about a fillet of fish, then maybe that's how I'll get through it. So I'll just break off the
That's it.
the
Perfect.
meaty and the skin part. So that's what it looks like. Anybody fancy a bit of that? Okay. Bottoms up.
Good luck.
It's very soft, isn't it?
It's very
It
soft,
literally
very
just
delicate.
melted in my mouth completely. I was expecting it to be sort of chewy and hard and not nice, but actually just disappeared. It was really quite tasty. Actually.
Yeah.
It's a bit sort of...
It gives you just a little sort of, because it's a freshwater fish, it doesn't, well, partly freshwater fish, I should say. It doesn't give you that massive hit of the sea. It's got quite a delicate sort of
I would almost,
carpy-like.
yeah, I'd almost put it to like a sea bass. That sort
Yeah,
of,
very similar.
That type of concept where it's sort of very light flavour, a hint of fishiness, but really soft and just literally just melts in the mouth. That's actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. However, the jellied eels, that looks like a different kettle of fish completely.
Same sort of thing going on. So take it off. Take it off the bone. The fish will be a little bit firmer
That does
on
look a bit
this.
harder.
It's mainly because of the skin. You don't have to eat the skin, but I eat the whole lot. And it goes.
So he's done it.
The jellies is like quite neutral, so you don't have to have too much jelly. It's mainly a
Okay.
preservative
Well.
mechanism.
Let's go for this one on the top. That's what it looks like. There's a lot of jelly in that bowl.
There is.
Okay, let me put it on here. Separates off away from the bone. Oh, it's a lot firmer. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, here we go.
That's what we call an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah, that feels a bit more like a sort of challenge as opposed to something that you know. If there was a street vendor selling that outside now, I don't think he'd be doing a roaring trade. It was a lot more fishy somehow. I don't know,
Yeah.
even though it's the same eel, somehow they managed to contain the fishiness.
Yeah.
I don't really like the jelly.
No. It's a very, very neutral sort of aspicy sort of jelly. Yeah.
Oh, it's getting worse. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back to the pie. I'm taking
Get
that
some
off my
pie.
plate.
Get some pie.
Let's just
Pie
put
always
that-
cures
Put that
everything.
back over there. Yeah, I'll try and forget about the jelly deal. So if you're coming here, if you want a bit of fun, try the jelly deal, but I wouldn't bother. The other eel's okay if you want to try it. Let me get back a bit more of this meat pie. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit more like a Victorian worker now.
Yeah.
That felt more like a Victorian prisoner being fed prison food for punishment.
Well, this is a big part of, certainly when I was growing up in Fulham, this is a very, very big part of the week. Saturday morning pictures, pie and mash for lunch.
Wow.
Every week. That was how we did things. And the day that you progress from single pie and mash to the day your dad says to you in the shop, I think it's time for double pie, double mash for you, son. It's that transition. It's like going from short trousers to long trousers. It's a
coming
bit
of
of
age.
a cultural thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that this hasn't spread to the rest of the country because I think it's just London, and particularly East London, that has this. So it's like quite a local food stuff. And obviously it's been around for more than 100 years. But
Yeah.
then you can get pie and you can get mash. And I think this liquor sauce is very unusual. I've not seen that anywhere
Definitely.
else.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's really tasty. It's good. So we're going to crack through the rest of this. Actually, let's just finish the bill. let's just do the bill now, and then we can just do the wrap up before, and then I can carry on and eat the rest of my food. Now, we bought more than normal today, so we had the double pie, double mash. So that came in, I think that was £14 for double pie, double mash. Single pie, single mash was £12.50. Cameraman's got one of those as well, and then we had the jellied eels and the hot eels, the stewed eels. They were around £7.50. So in total, came to £44.90. There's no service charge in here, so it's pretty cheap street food, really. When you think about it, for 3 people, if we hadn't got the jellied eels, it'd pretty much be 10 quid each for lunch, which I think for East London, pretty good value.
Very good.
It's a really interesting cultural experience, so I definitely recommend it. If you're coming to London and you want to do something a bit different, food-wise, then take one of these pie mash shops. There's some of them around. This is one of the more central ones here, so you can get it from the tube. It's about a 10-15 minute walk from London Bridge Tube. It's not a very flash area, so don't be coming thinking it's going to be all touristy things. It isn't. It's traditional, but it is really nice, and I think it's worth making the effort.
Totally.
So in terms of a score out of 10, obviously I'm playing with Gary's heritage here, so I've got to be delicate.
That's fine.
Let me score separately. Let me score these things first, individually. So these eels in the liquor sauce, they're okay. I'll give them a sort of 6 out of 10. Yeah, I wouldn't have them again, but they were all right. Jellied eels, for me, that's more of a 1 out of 10. Not nice. And again, it's personal taste.
That's quite all right.
In terms of the pie and mash and the experience and coming to a place like this, I think it's a great thing to do. Really fun, interesting day out. I give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. I would definitely come back and have this again all day long. Now you can do your own scoring, because I know this is more your world.
Well, in terms of the pies, these are some of the best pies you're going to get in London at Manzies. They've got 2 other shops, and they cook all the pies here, then ship. Well, they make the pies here, then ship them to the other shops to cook them. So in Peckham and in Sutton. So they're all done here, all made by hand. These are really, really top level pies. Really, really good. And the mash is nice here as well.
No, I'd agree with all of that. What's your score then?
In the pie and mash league, this is a solid 9. It really is.
Yeah, we're rating it in terms of pie and mash shops.
Yeah,
totally. Probably doesn't get any better than this, to be honest.
I would say so, yeah.
Great. Okay, well, that's our score for today. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing this traditional pie and mash shop. We've certainly enjoyed it, haven't we?
Excellent. Very happy.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you haven't done so already, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. And we will see you again on the next meal. Cheers, Gary.
Thanks, Joe. Cheers, mate.